Michigan Nation, it's your boy TJ Ronin. You can find me on the socials at TJ_Ronin. And unfortunately, we have some not so good breaking news to bring to you guys today. Typically, we like to bring the positive news in terms of players committing to Michigan and other great things that the University of Michigan has been doing. But this is one of those situations that we knew was on the horizon. This has been occurring for a while, and that is the Matt Weiss situation, which has now come to head and become public. Previously there was some Buckeyes and some rival fan bases that thought the Matt Weiss situation was related to the Connor Stallion situation. It is not, completely separate, which is something we've stressed on this channel. Now, we did not know the details, the full details, and we're going to get into that. I'm going to get into the Dan Wetzel tweet. I'm going to get into the Department of Justice's press release, which we'll read. And then there's also a Pat Forty tweet, which I want to share with you guys. That is wild. And actually, this entire thing is wild. It's actually insane when we get into it, when we get into the details of what's transpired since 2015. I also want to stress that Matt Weiss joined Michigan in 2021. This is something that's been occurring for some time, but let's get into Dan Wetzel's tweet here, and let's look at also the press release of the Department of Justice. So Dan Wetzel tweets here: the feds threw a slew of charges against ex-Michigan football assistant coach Matthew Weiss, alleged to have accessed student-athlete accounts to download personal, intimate digital photographs and videos that were never intended to be shared beyond intimate partners. And if we take a look at the Department of Justice press release, it says former University of Michigan quarterback coach and co-offensive coordinator indicted on charges of unauthorized access to computers and aggravated identity theft. Former University of Michigan co-offensive coordinator Matthew Weiss, age 42, of Ann Arbor, was charged today in a 24-count indictment alleging 14 counts of unauthorized access to computers on 10 accounts of aggravated identity theft. Acting United States Attorney Julie A. Beck announced. Beck was joined in the announcement by Gibson's special agent in charge of FBI Detroit field office. According to the indictment, between approximately 2015 and January 2023, I want to remind everybody, he joined Michigan in the offseason of 2021. Weiss gained unauthorized access to student-athlete databases of more than 100 colleges and universities were maintained by a third-party vendor. After gaining access to these databases, Weiss downloaded the personal identifiable information and medical data of more than 150,000 student-athletes. Holy shit, bro. Using the information that he obtained from the student-athlete databases, his own internet research, Matt Weiss was able to obtain access in social media, email, or iCloud storage of accounts of more than 2,000 targeted athletes. Weiss also illegally obtained access to social media. Social media and iCloud storage accounts of more than 1,300 additional students and or alumni from universities across the country. This is wild, bro. Once Weiss obtained access to these accounts, he downloaded personal, intimate digital photographs and videos that were never intended to be shared beyond intimate partners. Weiss is wild, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude? All right, our office will move aggressively to prosecute computer hacking to protect the private accounts of our citizens, said acting U.S. Attorney Julie Beck. We stand ready with our law enforcement partners to bring those who illegally invade the privacy of others to justice. Today's indictment of Matthew Weiss underscores the commitment and meticulous investigation efforts of our law enforcement professionals. Special Agent Gibson, the FBI Detroit Cyber Task Force, in close collaboration with the University of Michigan Police Department, worked relentlessly on the case to safeguard and protect our community. To continue, and by the way, that is wild. I'm learning this with you guys. I'm reading this for the first time. I just found out about this about 30 minutes ago, so it's fairly new, fairly breaking. A lot of the stuff coming out right now is within the hour. Dan Wetzel goes on to continue and says, conclusion of a long-standing investigation, alleged crimes of the date back to 2015 when Weiss worked for Baltimore Ravens. Michigan fired Weiss in January of 2023. See, like, that's wild, bro. Because like he was already doing this before coming to Michigan. He was already on this scumbag shit, right? Hacking people, hacking athletes and college students' accounts across the country. And then he comes to college, bro. That's nasty, dude. All right. Indicted on 14 counts of unauthorized access to computers and 10 accounts of aggravated identity theft. If convicted, Weiss faces a maximum of 5 years imprisonment on each count of unauthorized access to computers and 2 years on each count of aggravated identity theft. I also want to share with you guys a Pat Forty tweet that is wild, okay? From the documents, Months and in some cases years after he gained access to certain accounts, he returned to those accounts searching for additional photos and videos. Weiss kept notes on individuals whose photographs and videos he viewed, including notes on their bodies and their sexual preferences, dude. Yeah, so this is fucking wild. This is nuts. This is, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that this transpired, especially at the University of Michigan. Obviously, I don't think anyone looks at this, like this is good. This is not good. Obviously, it's not good. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's only so much control you can possibly have of your employees. I mean, who knew this guy was a super hacker prior to joining Michigan in 2021? Like, this is not something that falls on the plate of Jim Harbaugh, in my opinion. Now, like, at the end of the day, you have to be responsible to the people you hire, right? But at the end of the day, you can only do so much in terms of what do people do outside of their lives. I mean, outside of their professional lives, so this is not something that I look at Harbaugh on and say, oh, well, what a terrible hire. This is one of those things where, guys, I promise you, a lot of people that you work with, or even people in your lives, I assure you, there are things in their private lives that would appall you. Um, not again, I want to stress that doesn't mean this is acceptable, because it's not. And it's obviously not a good look either. And it's obviously an L at the end of the day. I mean, this is not a good look for Michigan. It's something that it is what it is, but you have to move forward and you can't change it. It happened. So hopefully this is resolved on Michigan's end, which I'm sure it is. And I do know this for a fact, that Michigan has increased and strengthened its process of hiring new candidates, coaches, administration, etc. They've hired, I believe it's a third party to go through that process and make sure they really look under every single rock and do their best for preventative measures. So, and that's really all you can do at the end of the day. I mean, guys, at the end of the day, you cannot control individuals and what they do. Um, and this is one of the instances where, unfortunately, there was a bad apple in at the University of Michigan, and the shit he was doing. I mean, we're talking, guys, before 2021, 6 years prior, dating back to 6 years prior to Michigan. And what's interesting is, the FBI has been surveilling this situation for a while. They did not have enough to bring a case until 2023, guys. That was what was going on there. So now you would think that, um, I don't know. It's just it's crazy to think about, man. Like, this dude was hacking college athletes and students' accounts, and then went to a freaking college to work. I mean, but it makes sense. I mean, like, it's fucked up, but it makes sense when you look at, like, predators, sexual predators. They do this shit, bro. Like, they become teachers, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just wild, and, like, to the common individual like myself or you, like, these are things that are unthinkable. I couldn't fucking imagine hacking all like that. It's wild to me. Um, it's what's even crazier is the details of him taking notes of the individuals. It obviously goes to show you that, uh, you know, something's not right with him. Unfortunately, but guess what? Justice has occurred here, and now it's in the hands of the court, and it will be resolved. At the end of the day, the good news is, here's the good news: he's not doing this anymore. Like, this was not a Michigan problem. This was a country problem. He was hacking 150,000 students. If I believe that's what I read, 150,000, if not students' accounts or whatever it was. I mean, absolutely insane. I'm taking a look right now. More than 150,000 athletes. Who the fuck has time for that, bro? I don't know. That's crazy to me. So I wanted to at least cover this for you guys, because that's, listen, whether it's good, bad, or in between, we're going to cover it. That's my initial take on it. We do have the call-in show tonight at 8 p.m. I'm sure we're going to talk about it. Obviously, we have the Michigan UC San Diego game tonight. We'll be talking about spring ball. We'll be talking about it. But, I will do some more research and see if I can dig up some more information in terms of, what's going on. Things are coming out by the minute. And we'll see, boys. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Nothing surprises me anymore. And this isn't even just like a Michigan thing. I mean, just like worldly, like it's just crazy. I mean, I'm sure you guys are watching this as I am, as you're watching me, and it's just like I can't fathom this shit, dude. Um it's weird. It's just weird shit. It's weird shit, but it is what it is. So good news. It's thankfully resolved for the most part, but now the court systems have to handle it. We'll see how they do. Obviously, we'll update along the way. But obviously this will be a process that probably goes on years or at least a year or whatever. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm out. I'm sure the rivals will enjoy this one, but I don't think this is a victory for anybody. At the end of the day, but fuck it. We keep moving, boys. We keep moving. So, shout out to Michigan Nation. We do appreciate you. As I said tonight, we got the Thursday call-in show, 8 p.m. Be there. Looking forward to it. And as you guys know, it's always go blue.